Welcome to the city of frost and fire. Discover the authentic stories of the extraordinary people that define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo, and this is the Fargo Five. We've got Scott Moen, the manager at the Moorhead American Legion. Hello, Scott.
Hello.
Now, I do have to apologize. Fargo, Morehead are kind of sister cities, and everything here is Fargo themed, but that's just because the show all starts with F's, of course. You are from the Morehead Legion, so
Correct.
56560 proud.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Morehead, Fargo have a little bit of a, how would you describe the relationship?
Oh, I think it's
A friendly relationship.
Blend very well together.
I feel sometimes Moorhead gets missed out, and I feel almost bad when I have a Moorhead politician or a Moorhead whatever on, and I feel like calling it the Fargo whatever. Maybe they feel a little in the shadow a little bit, or maybe not so much.
At times it happens, I suppose.
So you were telling me you've been at the American Legion. You're currently the manager.
Correct. Yep.
But you've been with them for 25 years.
Correct. I started in January of 2000.
2000. Wow. That's quite a while.
Yeah.
What even is, so I've seen it around. You see AmVets, Legion. These are these kind of bar and grills, I guess, that are kind of tucked around. I don't know that I really go to them very often. Can you tell me exactly what to expect and what's the difference between a Legion or an AmVets or other things like that?
Well, a Legion club is for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So to give you kind of a comparison, I guess you would call it, a VFW and a Legion are different because a VFW, you would have had to serve overseas to join that.
I see.
Where a Legion, you wouldn't have to serve overseas. You were just in the service.
So they're a membership organization.
Correct. It's
They're
a
open
vets
to
club.
but they're open to the public.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so it's kind of like the shrine in that way, I guess. When I think of like the El Zagel Shrine up north, because I always kind of felt like, well, that's for Shriners, but actually it's open to the public. And
correct.
The Legion is also for military members.
Correct. Yeah, and veterans, and there are some cities out there. So like you call them snowbirds that go down south in the wintertime.
Okay.
In order to get into a Legion down there, you have to show your membership card.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
you
that
can't just walk in.
Yeah. So some of them are very strict.
I did not know that.
Here in Morehead, we're open to the public.
What's the one that's on downtown? I think that's the VFW, right? And that's always my wife's favorite place to walk into downtown. And then I've been to your Legion out in Morehead a few times. It's it's where we host the MBA, the Morehead Business Association meetings.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It's very, I don't want to undersell it, but it's very low key. Like it's a relaxed. It's not like
comfortable.
Yeah. How would you describe it?
Yeah, it's very comfortable. You can walk in there and you'll feel welcome all the time, and it's just a nice setting.
But
people enjoy it.
You joined as a member in 2000.
Correct.
Okay, so what made you decide to join that organization, and why that one versus the VFW?
Well, at the time, I was just kind of looking around to see what was available and kind of where to hang out.
Yeah.
And I did actually start going over to the VFW, which was where Buffalo Wild Wings is now.
In Moorhead there, yeah.
In Moorhead, on
right
75.
on Highway 10, yeah.
And then I came across the Morehead Legion, which is over by the frying pan off Highway 10.
Yep.
And it was just comfortable. So it was, I just started hanging out there, and then they kind of asked me, well, would you be interested in bartending? So that's kind of how I got
So first you were a patron first.
First I was a patron,
and
exactly.
Then then they offered you a job.
And then it just kind of really snowballed from there.
Like, how often were you hanging out there where they were like, hey, you know what? You're here so often. Why don't we pay you to be here?
Right.
I mean, that's...
well, not quite that extent, but anyway. But yeah, so it was, people that were like the commander and other members there.
Is that what you call the general manager there, or what's that?
the commander is...
This is very interesting. So it's different from like a regular for-profit bar. This is...
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's go into that. I mean, I want to paint a picture because I have no idea how this is structured. I work with a lot of businesses, even bars.
Yeah, so when you walk into the Legion or when you pull up into the parking lot, it looks like just an ordinary business, which in a lot of sense it is. But behind the scenes, it is different.
Yeah.
So basically, there's 3 entities. There's the club, which is the bar area. Then there's gaming, which is charitable gaming.
That's like pull tabs and
electronic bingo and all that stuff. And then there is the post. So yeah, there's 3 different checkbooks.
Okay. Huh.
So
and tell me more about the post. I don't know. So I understand like the club is just like the bar, and that's open to the public, right?
Correct.
So that's where you can go and you can get a burger anytime, and it's like a bar and grill kind of a thing.
Yep.
And that's
exactly.
And then, but what's the post?
So the post is kind of a silent deal. Where their books and they're responsible for the whole building and the property. So.
And is that a government organization or?
No, not. It's regulated by. Some of the gaming is regulated by Allied Charities or the Gaming Control Board in Minnesota. So, yeah, there's a lot of. So, like the post, so there's memberships. Our fiscal year goes from July 1st to June 30th. And the memberships, now that it's July, the memberships get sent out.
Okay.
And people pay their dues. And so with that dues, there is only so much of that money that gets kept in Moorhead.
So there's kind of a financial structure based on government regulations, things like that.
Exactly.
The post helps with those requirements. But you said somebody was the commander, and that is a position held. That's an appointed or an elected. Is that a membership?
That is an elected position.
That's an elected
by the members.
The members.
Yep.
But when you were offered to become a bartender, were you already a member or were you just a patron?
I was probably a member, and then shortly after that, I started working there.
When I'm really curious. They approached you, so you were just so. By that time, how long had you been a member, or how long had you been there?
Oh, maybe a year.
Yeah. Okay. But you're going there regularly. I mean, how regularly was it that they approach you like that? Why you? Why? How would I? What I want to try to understand is how do I end up like Scott Moen? How does that happen? How do you go start hanging out at the Legion?
So you get to know people. I mean, if you go there 2-3 times a week, I mean, they recognize your face, and people start asking questions, and what's your story?
Yeah,
this and that.
The other members, because it's a club.
Correct. So soon as you mentioned the word military, that I was in the service, then it's like all the doors open.
I see.
Well, would you like to get involved?
I see.
And then you start asking questions. Well, what does it entail?
And so then they put you in as a bartender.
Correct.
And you're doing that full time.
Yep.
For 20 years. Or when did you become the manager? How did that come about? I mean, were you slowly climbing your way up, or is this more of a? Yeah.
So, yes, I started bartending, and I was part time. And I started going to the meetings, and I started getting involved, frying steaks for Steak Fry and doing various different things. Was in the color guard, so we would do parades, funerals, and stuff like that. And then there is a succession of chairs. There's like a fourth vice, third vice, second vice, first vice, and then commander. It's a large
organization. Okay.
It's like climbing the chairs.
Yeah.
So in 2005, I was elected commander of the club. So with that,
only 5 years into it. Only as a member as 5 years.
So I think I was in my Mid-30s.
Are you currently the commander?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so these are completely separate positions, being the manager versus the commander.
So typically, in a perfect world,
yes,
there's a new commander elected every year.
I see.
Now, at times, like for me, I did it 5 years in a row.
Okay.
Because there was no interest in anybody else wanting to do it.
That seems to be a common issue with organizations.
So, yeah, you
heavy as the head, right?
You wear that hat, and it was a great learning experience.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, then when I got done with that, when somebody else was elected, there is called a house committee. And what that house committee does is it oversees the property. You have 5 or 6, sometimes 7 members that sit on this committee. And they have various jobs. Like one person might look over the grounds, one person might look over the kitchen, different areas. And there's one person that is the chairman of the house committee.
Okay. And
the club manager also answers to the house committee.
There's a lot of people, and none of these are paid positions.
Absolutely not.
These are all part of the organization. Now, you became the manager. That is a paid position.
That is.
So now, so it only took you 20 years, right?
Well,
now you get paid.
Correct.
Do you still get to be a patron as the manager? Are you not only getting paid to run the place, but are you also enjoying the beverages and food on a regular basis there?
I used to, but I'll enjoy a non-alcoholic beverage.
Okay. Do you have a lot of experience with management of like a food service or a bar previously, or
no?
Okay. I wonder how it compares. So I mean, for my sins, have you worked food service in the past, like maybe when you were younger? When I was I did food service from 16 to 23, 24. And yeah, that was a learning experience.
Oh, I bet. But no, I never.
I just wonder how it compares.
I did not have anything to compare it to. I took it on, and you know what it was a challenge because I took over managing in October of 19. Well, if we all remember what happened in March of 2020.
Did something happen in March of 2020?
I think so.
Something? Oh.
Yeah, I think the world shut down.
Oh, yeah. I seem to remember that. Totally forgot about that. I don't think there were any long-term consequences to that.
No, not at all. So, yeah, 6 months into my gig, I had to shut the doors. So.
Oh, boy.
But
here you are. You're still standing.
Well, yeah. I decided to use our downtime wisely.
Well, and now you are putting together events, or you've been doing events the whole time. How long are you the mastermind behind the event, or who's your events guy? There must be, with such a large organization, there must be an events guy.
Well, so back in 2019, the Legion turned 100 years old. June 14th of 1919 was when the Moorhead Legion was established.
Oh, so this Legion itself specifically?
Yep.
This post?
Yep, exactly.
Am I talking your lingo now?
You are.
This post?
You are.
Yeah. Yep. I know a little something now. Okay.
You bet.
So this post turned 100 years old. I didn't realize the Legion was that far spread.
Yep. Yeah. It's been around a long time.
North Dakota only became a state itself in 19-something, right? I mean,
I'm not quite sure.
I'm kidding. But so 100 years old, and you threw a big.
Yeah, so we decided. I wasn't manager yet. I was the chairman of the house committee at that point in time.
I see.
So yeah, a bunch of us got together and said, "Well, we need to have a big party."
Yeah. In the middle of the pandemic.
No, this was
2019. Or this was right before it. This was right before.
Right
this was
before.
So
this was the summer.
June before
the summer of 19.
I'm sorry, COVID-19. I got a little. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So we decided to have a big parking lot party.
And that was
it was all going well, and then we got rained out. We had to move it inside, but it was still a huge success.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of, after the 100-year celebration, the following year, which was COVID, I don't think we might have tried something. I can't remember. anyway, what happened was I decided that we need to continue this.
Yeah.
What can we turn it into?
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of the auxiliary members were members of the honor flight.
I see.
So it just was a perfect fit.
Well, I want to talk all about that event in our next segment, which is going to be the Fargo Fun. So that's going to be coming up. So don't go nowhere.